Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today I'm gonna share with you guys my latest draft for game week 1. Right, so I've made quite a couple of changes. I will get into them later on. Right, but of course, if you do enjoy this video, please help me out and give it a like. Subscribe if you are new around here. We're trying to hit 1,500 subscribers before the game week 1 deadline. Right, so only you guys can help me do that. So please help me out if you aren't subscribed already. But we're gonna start off this video by telling you guys my old draft. Right, so on the screen right now, this is not my latest draft. This is the previous draft that I had before making this video, right? And there were a couple of problems with this draft, and that's caused me to kind of tinker into the draft that you will see at the end of the video, right? But currently, with this old draft, I did face a couple of problems, right? And maybe some of you did as well, right? So there were three main problems I faced with this draft, right? The first one was still whether I want to go for Haaland or Kane, right? This one's probably going to be an everlasting debate till the game week 1 deadline, right? But if I chose to go for Kane, then my next problem arose, right, where I don't have a City attacker, right, and I do want a City attacker because their fixtures are really good as well, right, and the last problem is that I've doubled on Chelsea defense in this draft, which I don't really like given their preseason and how shaky their defense is, right. So with these three problems, I kind of tackled them one by one, right. So first, I settled whether I want Kane or Haaland, right? And currently, I am settled on Kane. And I'm pretty sure I will stick with this. And this is my reasoning for that, right? I'm going to stick with Kane because his Game Week 1 fixture is good, right? And it gives me that window of opportunity in Game Week 2. If I need to swap over to Haaland, I can, right? I'm not saying that I'm going to book in the transfer. It's different from what people say where they want to book in the transfer and make that Game Week 2 change from Kane to Haaland immediately, right? That's not the case for me because I am still going to bring in a City attacker and I don't need to rush to get Haaland because I don't mind keeping Kane for a while as well, right? But I'm going to start my Game Week 1 team with Kane only because of his good fixture in Game Week 1, right? Then thereafter, that leaves me with my next problem, right? I do have a Spurs attacker now, but I don't have a City attacker, which is what I want, right? So when I take a look at City attackers, there aren't a lot of good options, right? There's Grealish, there's Mahrez, there's Foden, and there's Alvarez, right? And technically, Foden hasn't traveled, so he probably wouldn't start the earlier games of the season. And also, Alvarez just came into the team. I don't think he would take a starting spot away from either Grealish or Mahrez. So it is looking like Grealish or Mahrez would start, right? So I did have to choose between either one of them. So I did a bit of research into Mahrez versus Grealish. I use Fantasy Football Hub a lot. If you guys are interested in the tools that I kind of use and present in the videos, the link is in the description, right? But basically, I like this tool that they have where I can compare players based on their statistics using this diagram in the middle of the screen right now, right? And it kind of helps me to in a glance, right, quickly identify who has the better stats in different areas, right? And I like it because it's kind of like playing FIFA as well, right? So from this diagram, we can see Mahrez takes more shots, has more shots in the box, more shots on target. He has more big chances as well. Expected goals, expected points are higher as well, right? And where Grealish kind of does better than Mahrez is in chance creation, right? So if you can see their numbers, I put them down above this heat map right above me now, right? Grealish expected goals per 90, 0.15. Expected assists per 90, 0.26. If you take a look at Mahrez, expected goals per 90 is 0.68, right? Way higher than Grealish, but his expected assists per 90 is 0.19, right? So that can kind of be told from this chart that we kind of see as well, where we know that Mahrez is more of the shot taker, while Grealish looks more like a chance creator, right? So from this simple analysis, I can kind of tell that Mahrez is probably the one that will get more goals as well, right? And in general, from the eye test as well, I feel like Mahrez is a player that if he starts, right, of course, because all of these players are subject to Pep Roulette, right? But if he starts, he really does really well, right? I genuinely think that he is the better option than Grealish, even though right now there is a lot of hype surrounding Grealish because he did assist Haaland's first goal. But the thing is, Mahrez also did assist Kevin De Bruyne's brace in their preseason matches as well, right? So don't overlook Mahrez as well, and that's kind of who I'm going to go with for my new draft as well. So the next problem arose where I was kind of thinking, how do I get the funds to fund this Mahrez inclusion in my new squad, right? And it kind of made sense for me to go for Luis Diaz to Mahrez because Robertson and Luis Diaz, we know it's a debate that's going on in the FPL community right now. Who do we go for as the third Liverpool asset? But if I swap Diaz out for Mahrez, I can then give that third Liverpool spot to Robertson, who very nicely also replaces Chilwell, because I don't really want to double on Chelsea defense as mentioned just now, and I probably would go with James ahead of Chilwell. Right, so very nicely taking Mahrez, putting Mahrez into the squad in place of Diaz allows me to put Robertson into the squad in place of Chilwell as well. So I thought it'd be good if we kind of do a similar analysis to the one where we did for Mahrez and Grealish in the previous section. Right, so obviously we will have to take this analysis here with a pinch of salt, because we are comparing a midfielder to a defender who has the potential for clean sheet points, right? Diaz has to work for his points where he kind of needs to get assists or goals, but Robertson can get those clean sheet points, and on top of those attacking returns, if he does get them, then probably bonus points to be had there for him as well, right? So we are comparing two assets in different departments of the field, right? So we will have to take these statistics here with a pinch of salt, right? We're gonna start this analysis off by saying that I really don't think there's a lot to separate Diaz or Robertson, which is why, in fact, when I don't go for Diaz and I'm going for Mahrez in Diaz's place, I probably would just go for Robertson instead, right? So even before saying anything, I do feel like this third Liverpool asset, which one you go for, I do feel that it is dependent on your team structure, right? Similar to my situation as well, right? So in this case, let's take a look at the statistics still, right? And as we can see, Diaz, in terms of the attacking stats, he far exceeds Robertson's, right? Big chances, shots in the box, shots on target, shots, touches in the box, all far exceed Robertson's, right? But obviously he is probably in the attacking part of the field more often, and that's why these statistics are in his favor. But something I want to draw your attention to, which I don't think a lot of us don't know by now, because we know Robertson is a very attacking player in the final third, right? Then his cross statistic is really, really high, right? Far exceeding Diaz's cross stat, right? And I really think that that is something that we do need to pay attention to, because in this Diaz and Robertson debate, there are a lot of people who are thinking maybe Diaz is in store for some returns, which could really be the case, right? But if you take a look at Robertson's cross statistics, I think also his performance in the second half of the season, where we saw lots of assists and lots of goals, right? And this stat here kind of shows us and can kind of tell us where he's gotten all those points in the second half of the season from, right? So that's what I really like about Robertson as well. But as I said at the start of this section, right, I do not think that there's a lot to separate Diaz and Robertson. And for me, I do feel like this third Liverpool asset is more about your team structure, right? Who fits in better to your team structure in terms of the other value players that you want as well. So guys, on the screen right now is my latest draft, right? Very, very, very pleased with this draft. I'm very excited to share it with you guys as well. So let's get straight into it. And the squad value is 100 mil, right? No money left in the bank, right? So there is still some kind of rigidity, but I do feel like the price points in this draft kind of make it flexible for me to move from certain players if I need to, right? And I'm going to go for a 5-3-2 formation in this draft instead of the 4-4-2 that was in the previous draft that I showed in the starting part of this video, right? So Sanchez in goal still, right? 4.5 mil keeper. I don't want to go for Liverpool or Man City's keeper, even though I know that there are people who are going for City or Liverpool's keeper, right? I don't want to block the potential for me to get another outfielder from either City or Liverpool. So I do feel like Sanchez over the course of the first 8 game weeks, because I plan to wildcard in game week 8, right? So over the course of the first 8 game weeks, I do think that Sanchez is probably the best keeper out there. Probably Raya is the other one to consider, but I kind of favor Sanchez right now, right? So in the back line, we have Trent, Ben White, Cancelo, James, and Robertson, right? So the reason why I've included Robertson, I've already mentioned just now, right? So the rest of them kind of stay in my team. I do think that Trent, Cancelo, and James are essential to me, right? I really, really want them in my team, and if they don't perform, I can just move them on. Their price points are good for me to kind of downgrade them if I need to as well, right? But I really want them to start in my game week 1 draft, right? And then I have Ben White, who is a kind of wait and see asset, right? He's 4.5 mil, but at this point in time, I just want an Arsenal defender because I do feel like their fixtures are really, really good. So clean sheets to be had for them there, but Ben White is just there as a placeholder first, because I still am not certain of which Arsenal asset is probably guaranteed a start, right? I've checked in the forums for Arsenal fans as well, and they kind of don't really know who are the first choice defense line as well, right? They are kind of divided in their opinions as well. So Ben White just goes in as a placeholder first, but I only have 4.5 mil for that Arsenal defender at the moment. But even so, right, if I can get 4.5 mil for entry into Arsenal's defense, right, I'm pretty happy with the returns that I can get from there, right? And then if you take a look at my midfield, I have Salah, Mahrez, and Neto, right? So Salah and Neto were already in my previous draft. As mentioned, Salah is an essential, right? I've always said this in all of my videos, and I do want to captain him and start him in my Game Week 1 team as well. Neto, obviously, the very good budget enabler, and on top of this, Jimenez is currently now ruled out for the earlier part of the season for Wolves because of a knee injury, so there is potential for Neto to actually play out of position, maybe in a striking position as well, right? Which is really, really interesting, right? And probably from an FPL perspective, that is really, really good, right? So they stay, right? And Mahrez, as mentioned just now, gives me entry into that Man City attack, which I really, really want, because from Game Week 1 to Game Week 8, there are definitely attacking returns in store for City as well, right? Given how good they are in the attack as well, right? So up front, I have Kane and Jesus, no change there, right? But if you take a look at this whole starting 11, right, I've managed to fit in that City attacker, right? And also I've managed to change Chilwell and bring Robertson in, right? And at the same time, what I've been able to do with this draft is also keep my options open in terms of the Kane versus Haaland debate, right? So as mentioned, Kane's still in my team, right? But if I need to shift to Haaland, I can do that because Haaland and Kane are both at 11.5 mil, right? But I don't have to rush because I already have a City attacker, and I really, really genuinely think that Mahrez is a very good differential to have, right? He is very, very lowly owned in the game right now, right? So he is probably the differential player in this draft, right? Along with Ben White, but as I said, he is kind of a wait and see. So Mahrez could be the key differential in this draft for me, right? And I really, really, really like it, right? So obviously at this point in time, even though Mahrez is in my draft, I do think like we will have to wait and see for the Community Shield results and also the starting lineup to kind of see how Pep is setting up for the new season as well, right? But I also do think that Mahrez would be starting that game, right? So maybe we can get a glimpse into how he performs as well, right? But in general, really, really like this starting 11, right? And if you take a look on the bench, I have Brighton's substitute keeper, right? So 4 mil steal, right? And then Colback, Andreas Pereira, and Archer, right? All 4.5 mil, right? But Colback and Andreas are probably going to start for Nottingham Forest and Fulham respectively, right? Archer is just a bench fodder, right? But I have some bench options there in Colback and Andreas if I need to call on them, right? So in general, really, really pleased with this draft, right? I really like it. The backline looks really strong, right? If I can firm up that Ben White spot into an Arsenal defender that will definitely start, or maybe I can explore the possibility of also other good 4.5 million options, right? Maybe a Johnny as well comes into contention as well there, right? But in general, really, really like the structure of this team as well as the price points where it's kind of very, very flexible, kind of allowing me to not have any money in the bank but still be able to move to players if I need to, right? So let me know what you guys think of this draft, right? How many players in my draft do you have in yours, and how is yours looking like, right? And what do you think about the Grealish and Mahrez debate and also the Robertson and Diaz debate, right? Let me know down in the comments below, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please help me out and give it a like, subscribe if you are new around here so that we can hit the 1,500 subscribers target before the start of the season, right? And I will see you guys in another pre-season video very, very soon. Bye-bye.